Fairytales.
Princess Lila and the Colorless Curse, a tale of joy and vibrancy. Princess Lila was no ordinary princess. She was born with a magical gift, the ability to change her colors based on her emotions. When she was happy, her skin glowed a vibrant yellow, her hair shimmered a sunny gold, and her dress sparkled with 1,000 rainbows. When she was sad, her skin turned a soft blue, her hair flowed like a gentle river, and her dress draped in calming shades of azure. Lila loved her gift, for it allowed her to express herself freely. She danced through the palace gardens, leaving trails of sparkling colors behind her. She sang songs that filled the air with vibrant hues, and she told stories that painted the world with her imagination. But one day, a terrible curse fell upon the kingdom. A wicked sorcerer, jealous of Lila's magical gift, cast a spell that drained all color from the land. The once vibrant flowers withered into gray stalks, the lush green meadows turned into barren wastelands, and the cheerful blue sky became a dull, lifeless gray. The people of the kingdom, once full of laughter and joy, became pale and lifeless, their spirits as gray as the world around them. Lila's heart sank as she witnessed the transformation. She felt a deep sadness, and her skin turned a soft blue, her hair a gentle river of silver, and her dress draped in calming shades of azure. She knew she had to do something to save her people and restore the vibrancy of her kingdom. Lila journeyed to the Whispering Woods, a place of ancient magic, where she hoped to find a way to break the curse. She walked through the silent trees, their branches bare and gray, their leaves withered and lifeless. She felt a pang of loneliness, and her skin turned a pale green, her hair a shade of mossy green, and her dress shimmered with the colors of the forest. The silence of the woods was deafening. She called out to the trees, but they remained silent. She called out to the birds, but they were gone. The forest was dead. Suddenly, a small, furry creature scurried out from behind a tree. It was a brown and white spotted rabbit, its ears twitching nervously. Lila knelt down and spoke to the rabbit in a gentle voice. "Don't be afraid, little one. I'm here to help." The rabbit hopped closer, its nose twitching. Lila felt a surge of kindness and her skin turned a warm pink, her hair a soft shade of rose, and her dress shimmered with the colors of love. The rabbit seemed to sense her warmth and hopped closer, nuzzling against her hand. "I need your help," Lila whispered to the rabbit. "The kingdom is under a curse. Can you help me find a way to break it?" The rabbit looked at her with its big brown eyes and then hopped towards a small, gray stone that lay hidden amongst the withered leaves. It nudged the stone with its nose, and it rolled away, revealing a tiny, shimmering key. Lila gasped. This is the key to the sorcerer's castle. She had heard whispers of the key, a legend passed down through generations, but no one had ever seen it. The rabbit, sensing her excitement, hopped around her in circles, its ears twitching excitedly. Lila knew this was a sign. She had to find the sorcerer's castle and break the curse. Following the rabbit, Lila set off on a long and arduous journey. She crossed barren plains, climbed over rocky mountains, and waded through gray rivers. She felt a surge of determination, and her skin turned a fiery red, her hair a blazing orange, and her dress shimmered with the colors of courage. She knew that she had to reach the sorcerer's castle, no matter what. The journey was long and tiring, but Lila never gave up. She kept her eyes on the prize, the hope of bringing color back to her kingdom. She knew that she could do it, and she would not stop until she had succeeded. Finally, after many days of travel, Lila reached the sorcerer's castle. It was a dark and forbidding structure, its walls made of black stone, its windows covered in iron bars. Lila felt a wave of fear, and her skin turned a pale blue, her hair a shade of midnight blue, and her dress shimmered with the colors of the night sky. But she knew she had to be brave. She had come too far to turn back now. She took a deep breath and walked towards the castle, the shimmering key clutched tightly in her hand. As she approached the castle, the doors creaked open, as if beckoning her inside. Lila hesitated for a moment, but then she stepped inside. The castle was dark and cold, the air thick with a strange, musty smell. Lila felt a shiver run down her spine, and her skin turned a pale white, her hair a shade of silver, and her dress shimmered with the colors of the moon. She knew that she was in danger, but she pressed on, determined to break the curse. She walked through the castle, her heart pounding in her chest. The corridors were long and dark, the walls lined with strange, glowing orbs. She could hear the sound of her own footsteps echoing through the emptiness. She felt a surge of loneliness, and her skin turned a soft blue, her hair a gentle river of silver, and her dress draped in calming shades of azure. She knew she was alone, but she refused to give in to fear. Finally, she reached a large, iron-barred door at the end of the corridor. She could hear a faint, rhythmic chanting coming from behind the door. She took a deep breath and inserted the shimmering key into the lock. The door creaked open, revealing a large, circular room. In the center of the room stood the sorcerer, a tall, thin man with a long, white beard and piercing blue eyes. He was wearing a long, black robe, and he held a glowing orb in his hand. Lila felt a surge of anger, and her skin turned a fiery red, her hair a blazing orange, and her dress shimmered with the colors of courage. "You've stolen the color from my kingdom," she shouted at the sorcerer. "You've made my people miserable." The sorcerer laughed, a cold, cruel sound that echoed through the room. "You're just a little princess," he sneered. "You can't stop me." He raised the glowing orb, and a beam of dark energy shot out from it, striking Lila in the chest. Lila felt a sharp pain, and she stumbled back, her skin turning a pale blue, her hair a shade of midnight blue, and her dress shimmering with the colors of the night sky. She knew she had to do something, but she was weak. Then, she remembered the rabbit. It had led her to the key, and it had been with her throughout the journey. She looked down at the rabbit, which was now standing beside her, its ears twitching nervously. She knew she had to trust it. She reached down and picked up the rabbit, holding it close to her chest. She felt a surge of love, and her skin turned a warm pink, her hair a soft shade of rose, and her dress shimmered with the colors of love. The rabbit seemed to sense her emotions, and it nuzzled against her cheek. Suddenly, the rabbit let out a loud, piercing scream. The sorcerer turned to face the rabbit, his eyes widening in surprise. The rabbit jumped from Lila's arms and landed on the sorcerer's head. It began to scratch and bite, its tiny claws digging into the sorcerer's scalp. The sorcerer screamed in pain, dropping the glowing orb. Lila saw her chance. She grabbed the orb and threw it into the air. The orb shattered into 1,000 pieces, sending a shower of sparkling colors across the room. The sorcerer, still screaming in pain, fell to the ground, his black robe ripped and tattered. The rabbit, victorious, hopped back to Lila, its ears twitching excitedly. Lila hugged the rabbit tightly, feeling a surge of gratitude. She knew that the rabbit had saved her life, and she would never forget its bravery. As the last shard of the orb shattered, a wave of color washed over the castle. The walls turned a vibrant red, the windows shimmered with 1,000 rainbows, and the air filled with the scent of blooming flowers. Lila felt a surge of joy, and her skin glowed a vibrant yellow, her hair shimmered a sunny gold, and her dress sparkled with 1,000 rainbows. She had broken the curse. She ran out of the castle, her heart filled with hope. The kingdom was alive again. The flowers were blooming, the meadows were green, and the sky was a cheerful blue. The people of the kingdom, their faces now full of color and life, cheered as Lila returned, their voices filled with joy and gratitude. Lila smiled, her heart overflowing with happiness. She had saved her kingdom, and she had learned a valuable lesson. Her emotions were not a weakness, but a strength. They were the key to her magic, and they were the key to her happiness.